Welcome back. I am Melissa Aho, your host, and today we are going to be discussing the writings of Elon Musk's relatives. Yes, did you know that his relatives have many books out and some articles? So we're going to be discussing that, and you're like, why are we discussing that right now? None of them have a new book out right now. Nope. As we all know, Elon Musk had a huge effect on the U.S. president election. So I thought we'd discuss a few things. But first, we will not be discussing Walter Isaac's book, which came out 2 years ago, 2023, except for me to say this. Well, okay, so what happens in the publishing world is a book comes out, it's a huge success. 6 months to a year later, it comes out in a trade size, usually, a large size paperback. That has not happened with this book. There has been no word, no notice, no inkling of what's going on and why there's not a paperback version out. Usually when a paperback comes out, the author updates it, fixes any typos, other issues that come up. So, all right, Walter Isaacson, where's the paperback? I mean, is he waiting for things to calm down in Elon Musk's life? That sure as heck is not going to happen. So while we're waiting for this book, today, Inauguration Day, Waterstones, which is a British book company. They've got many stores in England, and they sell books online, which they sell autographed copies online. They're a great store. I've been buying things from them for years. But they sent out an email today with, new books coming out this spring. And guess what book was on there? The Elon Musk book by Walter Isaacs is listed as coming out February 13th, 2025. And the little blurb they put next to the picture is, the story of the man at the heart of American power. Now, isn't that interesting? So I was like, first I've seen of this. All right, so we'll go look on Amazon. Nothing. I'll go look on Barnes & Noble. Nothing. Books A Million. Nothing. Publisher's website. Nothing. I go back to look on Waterstone's website. The link to pre-order the book, dead. If you just Google it, nothing is there. Just the regular hardcover and the ebook. So somebody apparently at Waterstones jumped the gun, or they pulled it, or they're waiting, or there's something going on. So that'll be interesting to see in the coming months and years what's going on with the Walter Isaacson Elon Musk paperback. Alrighty, so if we look at Musk's family, we have to go back to South Africa and let's get that one out of the way, grandparents actually. So as we know, his mother grew up in Canada, his mother, May Musk, but his relatives, his grandfather, May Musk's father, Joshua Haldeman, was born in Minnesota. His mother was a chiropractor. She moved the family up to Canada. And so he grew up basically in Canada, even though he was an American. Met the wife, Winnifred, that was wife number 2. They did a bunch of stuff in Canada. He opened up a chiropractic practice, did a bunch of stuff, dabbled in some weird politics that if you want to read about in Walter's book. And then they moved to South Africa. He was also a pilot, and they flew around, and that's what this book is about. The Flying Haldemans, Pity the Poor Private Pilot. It is self-published and undated. I cannot find any copies anywhere, not in any libraries, not in any public libraries, not online. So it was obviously published privately for friends and family, that sort of thing. And people that have copies are not selling them or releasing them. So that is out there, though. And then the grandfather also, he was a big pilot. They flew all over the world, him and the wife. They did all these excursions out to the Kalahari, safaris, that sort of thing. Anyways, he had published an article in Flying magazine, which is a very popular flying magazine for general aviation here in the United States. And that was back in June 1966. And I think that's them. And then one of their kids. And then May Musk's brother, Scott, is also a chiropractor and has written a ton of things. And this book is on him by Reed Phillips. But Scott also has an article, a chapter in here, which is why I included it. He's a well-known chiropractor. And there's a copy of his CV back here. Lists all of his degrees. Palmer College of Chiropractic, which is very famous chiropractor school. That's in Iowa. And then he had a couple of degrees from the University of Pretoria in South Africa. University of British Columbia, both a Ph.D. and an M.D. So a very smart gentleman. And this book is all about him, but it also includes his growing up in South Africa, his family, his grandparents, all sorts of interesting information. So there is that. He also continues to write a few things about his father. And his chiropractic practice in Canada and in South Africa. And I believe he's trying to write on the grandmother. I saw a little blurb somewhere that he was trying to write her history of being a female chiropractor, both in Minnesota and then later in Canada. Going back to the journey of Scott Haldeman for a sec, the blurb on here says it's a story of an individual who has had more than his share of struggles and strife, successes and stardom, all while enduring the complexities of simple survival in a professional world that oftentimes neither encourages nor embraced him. So there you go. Alrighty. Then Elon's mother. Okay. Elon's mother, May Musk. So she wrote this book, Feeling Fantastic, Good Health Clinic, back in 1996, when she was living in Canada. So she was born in Canada, moves with her parents and her siblings to South Africa, becomes a model, does modeling, gets married, has 3 kids, gets divorced, becomes a model again, moves back to Canada. In Canada, then she moves to the United States, doing nutrition and being a model. So feel fantastic here. And let's see, there's the back. And there's like exercise, nutrition, all sorts of interesting stuff here. Exercise goals, eating out. Acknowledgement, she thanks her mother and her 3 children, Elon, Kimball, and Tosca. All right, the blurb on here says that Feel Fantastic is a portable clinic that gives easy-to-follow instructions on nutrition, fitness, self-confidence, and looking great. Musk gives the lowdown on vitamin supplements, food additives, vegetarianism, and more. She also provides sample schedules of exercises to get a beginner on the move and terrific sample menus so that you will know exactly how to modify eating habits. The ultimate goal of Feeling Fantastic is just not weight loss, but also to guide its readers on the road to overall good health and well-being and other positive changes. So that's what we have here. So this came out in 1996. Then, as we know, she wrote this book back in 19. A Woman Makes a Plan. Advice for a lifetime of adventure, beauty, and success. And it's been published in I don't know how many different countries, so it's a huge, successful book with her motto, Living Dangerously Carefully. And the blurb here says, May Musk is a fashionable, charming, jet-setting supermodel with a fascinating and tight-knit circle of friends and family, and is 71 years old. But things are not always so easy or glamorous as she became a single mom at 31, struggled through poverty to provide for her 3 children, dealt with weight loss issues as a plus-size model, and overcame ageism in the modeling industry, and established a lifelong career as a respected dietitian, all the while starting over in 8 different cities across 3 countries and 2 continents. She made her way through it all with the indomitable spirit and a no-nonsense attitude to become a global success at what she calls the prime of her life. So it's a pretty good book, actually. I don't know if she had a ghostwriter or not. I don't think it says anything here, and I haven't heard anything, but very good book. I mean, she's got a couple degrees, a couple master's degrees in nutrition, and it goes into, her upbringing, her background. Her marriage was abusive emotionally and physically. So there's that. We have Justine Musk, Elon's first wife and mother of his 6 children. This one was written in 2005 when she was still married to Elon, and it is a fantasy novel. It's called Blood Angel. The blurb on here says, in downtown Manhattan, a rising young painter is haunted by a disturbing dream. In small-town Minnesota, a teenage orphan struggles with the knowledge beyond his years and a destiny that he wants no part of. And in California, young and old, hipster and hippies fall under the spell of a wildly charismatic singer whose voice breaks down all barriers, including the ones between heaven and hell. So there you go. Justine also has a couple other books out too, and I believe that they're fantasy. And she's written, of course, a couple articles that you can find online And she had a blog and a Twitter account, but I don't know if there are any, if they're still working or valid anymore. She did put to Elon in the beginning, and there's a picture over there. And apparently when this was published, she had 2 young sons. Alrighty. And then we have wife number 2 and number 3, Tahula Riley. And it's called Acts of Love, a novel. So another fiction, current fiction though. And she is, of course, the British actress, writer, director, and co-founder and COO of Forge, a mobile app for scheduling of hourly workers. And let's see, it says, Bernadette is expert at hiding the truth. She's built a career as a journalist on talent for luring powerful men into a false sense of security, then exposing them in her ruthless profile pieces. Tahula Riley's wonderful first novel is an incredibly will they, won't they tale that which asks how it is we can strive for independence, but still believe in destiny. So there you go. And she has written a couple other books too. And last, but certainly not least, we have The Kitchen Cookbook by Elon Musk's brother, Kimball Musk, Cooking for Your Community. And this came out last year in 2025. See the little cowboy hat? And it is a beautiful book. Tons of pictures, recipes, menus, foods, soups. It also tells a little bit about the story about how he got into cooking. Gorgeous pictures. And there are some family pictures in here as well. Cowboy hat. And the blurb on this reads, to cook a meal for others with thoughtfulness about ingredients and the care for the technique can be the ultimate act of sharing. Gathering around the table opens people up, sparks meaningful connections, and builds community. This was one of the key principles that led Kimball Musk to open the kitchen restaurant 20 years ago, and it remains at the core of the restaurant's mission. So, yeah, beautiful book. All these books can be purchased at Amazon, Barnes & Noble, your local bookstores, wherever fine books are sold, as the saying goes. I suspect over the coming years, we will be seeing a tsunami of books about Elon Musk as various other relatives, friends, family, children come of age and decide to write books on him. Thanks for watching. Happy reading.